Hello, this is RV Vagabond Jerry in Zion's Canyon National Park, southwest Utah. I'm here at the Visitor Center, which is actually closed. They do have this information booth right outside the Visitor Center for if you have questions, you can get the park map and brochure. And also, the road that goes through the canyon where all the scenic viewpoints are is closed to private vehicles. So you have to take a shuttle bus in order to get to any of those viewpoints. So that's what I'm going to do. The shuttle bus stops at each one, the visitor center, and it also stops at places in the town of Springville where it also picks up passengers, so that actually the parking lots here at the visitor center are full. At least today, and I suspect to the summer that's most of the time. So the shuttle buses will pick you up in town. I can't even take my motor scooter up the canyon, which is easy to find a place to park, but they block you off where they won't let you go in. So let's hop on the shuttle bus and I'll show you around Zion Canyon National Park. Now, for some reason, they don't mind a whole lot of people going into the bookstore and gift shop. They don't mind a crowd of people in there, but they're not going to allow even one person in the visitor center. You have to go to this information booth there. And there's some nice scenery all around the visitor center area here. All right, so I gotta wait in line to catch the bus. But here is the agenda, folks. Beyond the visitor center, there are 8 different stops where there are points of interest, things to see. And the first one, museum is closed, Canyon Junction is closed, Court of the Patriarchs is closed. Then Zion Lodge is the first place where the bus will stop. Then the Grotto, Weeping Rock is closed, Big Ben, and Temple of Sinawava. So of the 8 different places, only 4 are open. And as a bonus, none of the buses are air conditioned. So I'm not gonna get a moment's relief from the heat at all day long. And to make things even worse than that, you have to have a ticket to get on the shuttle buses. Now the ticket only costs $1, so that's fine. The big problem is the visitor center doesn't sell tickets. You can't buy a ticket to the bus anywhere here in the park. They will not sell a ticket. You have to go online to recreation.gov to buy a ticket, and they limit how many tickets they'll sell each day. So I think you can pretty much get a ticket for tomorrow, but you might not be able to get a ticket for today. And the tickets are only for a certain hour of the day for your initial entry onto the bus, and they limit how many tickets per hour they will sell. So I found that out when I tried to buy a ticket. They showed me how to do it online, but they were all sold out for today. So basically they said, come back tomorrow. So I gotta come back tomorrow to get a ticket for the bus because they're sold out today. The first place where the buses stop is here at the Zion Lodge. You can drive your car up to the lodge here if you are registered. There is a restaurant there, but their dining room is closed, so it's only takeout orders. There's some benches, but most people sit on the grass here to eat their lunch. Fortunately, there is this huge tree that provides a lot of shade, and there's the canyon sides around the lodge here. Nice view, huh? And you can hike into the canyon or ride bicycles. But unfortunately, no motorcycles. Right across from the lodge is the Emerald Pools trailhead. And here's a map showing the lower pool and the upper pool. And these are the hiking distances. And you get to see a waterfall. This is the creek that runs through the canyon. It comes from the waterfall. And they got a bridge here going across it. Here's another shot of the creek and the canyon on the other side. Didn't expect to see a deer 10 feet off of the trail. And the trail here is mostly sidewalk, but it's a lot of up and down, so it is definitely increasing elevation considerably. Well, here is the lower pool. It looks pretty deep right there. I can't tell, but it does look like it's really deep. And then shallow right there. There's a little bit of water falling off of the side of the canyon there. You can see it landing here. It's not really much of a waterfall. That's all there is. And the big waterfall that I showed you on the picture, somebody told me that dries up this time of the year. So to see that waterfall, you have to come in the spring when the snow is melting. And here's some water just coming right out of the side of the rock there and hitting onto those rocks. I'm not sure. It might be just dripping down the sides there until it gets to that point and then it comes right down. Or it could be a spring just coming right out of the rocks, which is what it looks like to me. So to get to the upper pool, you just keep following the trail, which goes around there. And you can see some people there. It's such a hot day, I'm just not going to go to the upper pool. It's twice the distance and I'm sweating like everything already. The next bus stop is called the Grotto. So I'm going to look around and see what's here. So it looks like the main hiking trail here is to this Angel's Landing, but you have to go way up here and then back down. And this says it is 5.4 miles round trip. So obviously I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to see what is around this grotto area. And to get to Angel's Landing, there's a part of it where you have to grab onto a chain so you don't fall off the edge of the cliff. Oh boy, how does that sound? Here's the creek that flows along the canyon side on the bridge here. And not much depth for wading though. How do you like this view? I thought it was very nice of this tree to lean over like that to give you some shade if you go down into the creek. Very considerate. There is a ranger here, and I asked, where is the grotto? Which way is it to the grotto? And after a little bit of evasive conversation, turns out there is no grotto. All there is here is these restroom buildings, picnic tables, and the creek that I showed you with the bridge going over it. So that means now I'm off to the next bus stop. Got some nice views here though. This is the bus stop they call Big Bend, and it has a plaque here that shows the 3 main peaks, and it's right in front of me. So this one is called the Organ. This one is called the Great White Throne, and this one is called the Angel's Landing. So you can see it here, the Organ, the Great White Throne, and the Angel's Landing. And the Great White Throne, you can see, is much lighter colored than the other two. The river at this point is pretty calm. You can hear a little bit of rustling from that and another place where there's rapids. Huge canyon side here. So that's about all at this point here. It's just a good view to see all the different peaks in the area here. And down at the river, it really is a stunning viewpoint to be this close to the canyon sides and look up at them like that. So this is the last bus stop at the end of the canyon. You can't go any further except for hiking. And the 2 features here are the Riverside Walk and the Narrows. The Narrows is a very famous place where the canyon sides are just a few feet apart. Here's the trail map. And the river walk, you can see there, and it goes up to where you get into the Narrows. Here is a nice little waterfall, just a couple feet high, and it is really shady and cool right here. And the reason why is because look at these cliffs. Wow, that is not only so high, but it is just straight vertical. And here's the other side of the canyon, which is just as vertical. Especially right here. Just drop straight down. Just like on this side. Nice little waterfall, huh? You can walk across it, but you have to walk on rocks. So you got to be very careful, especially if you're not wearing any kind of shoes. And this girl is doing it barefoot. Wow. Seems to be making it okay though. This is where the canyon starts to get really narrow, and there's a couple placards here that tells about it. "20 feet apart and little if any sunlight." I'm hiking towards the Narrows here. I'm not sure how far I'll get down into there. I'm sure it goes for miles. At least the trail gives you some good shade. Now this is at least somewhat of a grotto. At the bottom of this steep vertical cliff. Take a look at this rock hanging over the trail. Now I've been calling this a creek. They call it a river. I bet it looks a lot more like a river in the spring and it's collecting all the snow melt. Got some springs coming off of the side of the cliffs here. Here's a calm part of the river, and then going over some rapids here. I put my hand in the water here to cool down my forehead, so that felt really good. You can get into the water at just about any point to cool off. Here's a little different look of the river. With all these boulders here. Here's a small waterfall. And a little bit of waterfall here. This is a nice shot, don't you think? Well, it is getting narrower. And no direct sunlight. The sun just recently went down over the top of the canyon there.
Yeah, this is Mommy's thing, but I don't want to check.
Well, guess what, folks? I made it to the end of the trail. You can keep going down or up the canyon, but as you can see, you have to do it going through the river, which a lot of people are doing, but I'm not. This is as far as I can see the end of the canyon, from this point at least. And that's as narrow as it gets from here. I'm guessing 50 feet wide, something like that. So I guess these people are going to the point to where it gets 20 feet wide, somewhere down there. This is the end of the trail for me, and pretty much the end of the video. By the way, if my videos get too long for you, just watch as much as you want and then come back later to watch the rest. Nobody's making you watch the whole thing all at once if you don't have time. Well, I hope you've enjoyed my tour of Zion National Park. Good day, folks.